What is good, everybody? I have revived myself and have taken my lab coat back from the IRS and those greedy bastards up in government and whoever touched it. Now, before I want to get into this, I want to bring up one thing that I have recently seen, and it is it's not an attack. It's just a call to action, really. Nothing serious. First, I want to congratulate the fact that this channel, me and my brother, have been working hard as shit, and we have officially reached 19 subscribers. 19. I'm 19 years old. There's one of you for every year I've been alive. I am super thankful for every single one of you, and for the fact that most of them are just my friends. And Sue said, everybody who's here that I don't live within 20 minutes of, tell that motherfucker I appreciate him. Now, on the other note, there was a recent video that came out that I would like to call bullshit on. That video was made by the Anime Man. Don't worry, I'll get into the HenTAI reviews in a little bit, but just give me a second. A video was made by the Anime Man, and you may have heard of him. He's got a few subscribers, a little over 1 million. I wouldn't say he's super famous, but I'm subscribed to him. I really like the guy. But one thing that I noticed is he did a video recently about exactly what I'm doing. Not the same series, just the spirit of it. And he did his research into it, and I was like, alright, cool. I've seen a lot of his videos. Him, Gyutte, and Nuxtaku were the guys that inspired me to start doing stuff like this. Yes, that gave me the confidence to actually continue on with what I was doing. But, in his newest video, he put on a lab coat and called himself Professor. Then he fucked up on the last name, and I don't think he even gave himself one. And I'm like, hold on there, buddy. I have questions. Did you see my video? Did you see my series? How did you get that lab coat? I have questions. I'm the doctor. Although he did call himself the professor, so I feel like that's fair game. No ill will. I just want to let you know. If any of you came here to be like, he's just copying that guy. I've been doing this for 2 months. Suck a dick. It's Pride Month, so go ahead. Now, on to your regularly scheduled HenTAI reviews. And you're probably wondering why I took the extra day off. Day before yesterday. That was because there's this weird fucking thing going on hanime.net.tv where they just decide not to upload for the longest time, 5 days in a row. No, they're just like, nah, we're good. 6th day comes around, here's 2, and one of them is one of those categories that you can't watch, that I don't want to watch. The time before that, they took an entire week off before they uploaded anything. So, the one that they uploaded was actually a sequel to one that I had not previously seen. So, what I'm going to be doing now is in the title, and Jesus Christ, it's another long name. Okay. I don't like the way this name starts out. Today, we will be reviewing Onii-chan, Asamade, Zutto, Gyutte, Shite. There's an exclamation mark, but I'm not rereading that just to have a little nyah voice to it. There are currently 2 episodes. It's made by Mary Jane. And I really want to say there is an entire production company behind the animation and the project itself, but I also equally like the idea that there's one person named Mary Jane who's just working her ass off. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with. Currently, there are 2 episodes for it, and each one is around 15 to 16 minutes long, so relatively short, with about 7-8 categories per episode. Most of them carry over between them. There's 1, maybe 2 that doesn't really go. But, onto the actual plot of the series itself. The plot of the series itself is bare basic fucking minimum. And the actual plot that you're actually going to be looking for, if you want to know what's going on in the story, you have to read in the goddamn description. Yes, I'm swearing a lot, and I'm starting to notice it. But it's fun, because I'm an adult and I can do what I want. Now, I actually had to read the description to figure out what the fuck was going on, because I thought it was just like, oh, hug, and then, whatever. The plot for it is a guy was born with a really bad immune system, so as an experiment, he was put in a house with his 4 other sisters. You know exactly where this is going. Once he was in a room with his sisters, he would have to have constant physical contact, where he would be told to, like, all right, hug your siblings on a daily basis as often as possible, linger on the hug for about 10 seconds. Now, that being said, it would work pretty well with just about everybody, except if you live in Alabama or wherever the fuck these hentai are made. Looking at you, Japan, and you and your weird, creepy ass. I'm not even gonna act like America's better than Japan. I mean, I have 2 reasons why America's better than Japan. Read about those in the history books. No, I'm kidding. But after being in contact with them, I feel like there's going to be at least 2 more episodes that are going to focus on each of the sisters, because there's 4 episodes in total. There's 4 sisters in total. There's 2 episodes current. And the newest one just recently came out. The other one came out within the year, but I don't remember it coming out, because I wasn't reviewing shit back then. Now, it's pretty much just they pick a character from the line. They pick one of the sisters from the lineup, the main character who has that typical no eyes, hair down to like right here. It's very generic when it comes to the way that it's portrayed. But the way that it's done is the main character sees one of his sisters, and oddly enough, the other 3 never appear in it. I mean, at least in some other ones where there's a harem, you at least see them for more than the opening. The opening itself is when they go over, like, here's 5 rules you need to know when hugging your sister, Onii-chan. Make sure you hug your sister as often as possible, linger on it for 10 seconds, you've got to sniff. Sniffing is the weird rule of the bunch. And you've got to put passion into it, and 5th rule I didn't see fit to remember. And then after that, 3 of the sisters disappear, and they focus on whatever character is going to be put in. Now, the first and the second one, they're virtually identical, except for, like, 2 tags when it comes to, like, what you're into. Do you want bare bones, basic, vanilla, nothing? Or do you have a piss fetish? It's really your options at this point, because the girls that are depicted in this are so similar. I don't remember what one of them looks like. Either I know what they both look like, but they're so similar that they fuse together, or I have no idea. This one is. I took a day off and I came back. And I came back to almost a week without any new additions. And I get this. Disappointment. I mean, disappointment as in, like, when you get pizza that's bad. I mean, bad pizza is still fucking pizza. Now, the episodes usually go out with... They do the introduction with the rules, the different characters. And then they go into the actual plot of the series, which is the main character hugs the sister of his choosing for a period of time. They're like, oh, you're so sweet. You actually care about me. And he's trying not to say, like, you're the only fucking person in this house for some reason. The other 3 disappeared. And she's like, no, it's love. I can feel it. And then they go to town. Happy Father's Day, by the way. Hey, at least that's when I'm recording this. So, weird one to do on Father's Day. I will admit that. So, not expecting the sibling tag to be on the whole I'm not even gonna bring that up. All right. Now, once he hugs the sister, then there's like wholesome connections between the two, and then they just start going to town for the rest. Like, it's a 3 minute introduction. The beginning, like where they're explaining the rules and they're showing off all the different characters, that's 2 minutes long. Then they spend another 2 minutes with the characters, and then the rest of it is 11 minutes of just boning. And that's a very that's even a little skewed when it comes to like the fractions of how much minutes are used. Sometimes it's like, oh, it's 3 minutes, and then the other 13 minutes is just wham bam. Thank you, Onii-chan. Like, it goes on. Now, that being said, they're virtually interchangeable. The episodes are not really that different. Like I said, except if you wanted to pick a fetish, which is no fetish or piss. And I'm not a big fan of one of them. Now, that being said, let's just go ahead and get into the category reviews. First category is animation. I will say that this one was done really well, at least in the animation department, because a lot of what happens in it is very smooth. You don't really see any of that slideshow stuff that you normally see, where you'll see obvious clips in between. You see a lot of smooth movement. Not like the camera that you're seeing right now. It's very smooth with what happens and flows nicely into each other. But it's also noticeably slow. For some reason, the animation in this is slow. As in, like, it's almost like you're playing a regular porno on, like, half speed. That's the slowness of it. Really high frame rate camera viewing something at half speed. It's pretty much what it is. But there is something strange. There is interesting, like, liquid physics. Or at least, liquid is animated really well in this. Like, once the guy finishes with the girl, with the girl in question of whatever happens, any liquid substance that is left over, it's actually animated to be liquid. It's not just bam and now it's a solid and it's never gonna move. It's touched and then you'll actually see it running down certain spots. It never has like a still moment, until it reaches a point where gravity can no longer do anything to the movement. And I thought that was a strange thing to point out, but there is one problem with it. There is not a lot of dynamic movement between the characters. The movement that's there is really smooth and flows well together, but there's not a lot of dynamic actual movement. When I compare like what I want when it comes to the animation department, my thought process is like, how well would this work? How well is this being made for this standards? Alright, it's pretty good. It's better than a lot of other stuff. I'll say it's an 8 out of 10, which is what I'm giving it. An 8 out of 10 in the animation department. But what's a 10 out of 10 in the animation department? 10 out of 10 is like good animation. Not average, good. The best possible hentai is a 7 out of 10 in basic anime. Unless they go the extra mile and it's like Studio Trigger and shit gets wild. Now, the characters in this are very basic and mostly just there to be cute. But god damn it, they are forgettable. Like, I don't remember anything about the characters. I watched them 20 minutes before I made this script. And I don't remember a fucking thing about them. There was cute cute girl number 2, basic protagonist, nothing special, not a goddamn thing. Now, I'm giving it a 3 out of 10, and I'm sticking with it. Because there are ones out there that have no characters, but the fact that you can make the characters cute is that's 2 points. You made 2 characters cute. That's a point per person. But there's nothing past that. There's nothing else added. It's just so barren when it comes to like actual what the fuck is going on. If you have to read the description to know what's going on with the characters, that's not good characterization. Now, the actual thing most of you are here for is the content. The content. The plot. The double D plot. I was trying to think of like other stupid words like the plot hole. No, the content itself is a controversial opinion on my point. Because I'd like to say it's too much sex scenes. There's too much of it. It is absolutely bogged down with just... There's reasons why I like to watch actual, like, little movies, or at least clips from movies, when I go into when I'm just by myself, rather than watching clips, because a clip is just pure sex. There's nothing else in it. Which is good if you're looking for something and you're like, I'm not in a mindset to enjoy what's going on. I need to get this finished now. But this is 2 minutes, nothing but sex after that. Which, like, you don't earn any of the stuff that's happening. This is, I think you're cute, fuck, that's it. Which sounds like, oh, that's a weird thing to complain about. Well, it's a thing to complain about. No. The scenes themselves don't have a ton of variety when you actually get into them. And there's no build-up to the scenes themselves. There's introduction and then sex. Even in introductions to like full-on 3D pornos with actual women and actual men, if there's a build-up in the beginning of it, there's at least some banter that makes them fun to be around. If you actually do watch like normal porn, the discussions between them is so like vivid, because like you're getting a little bit of like what they're doing. If they're laughing while they're reading off these things, because there's not a ton of budget behind it. If they're laughing and they're talking between each other, they're having fun. They're excited for what's going to come next. This is bare basics. This is a 5 out of 10 when it comes to the content. Which everything here is graded on 5 is average. But content, anything below a 6 is not good. This is like if plot were actual plot. Another episode that I've covered before, Wage no Liliano-san, it took about half the episode for them to actually have sex, and then they actually got together for the rest of the episode. Now I know it's weird to compare the two like that, but there was build-up. There was the characters, the interactions between each other. And then there were scenes that were meant to show that, like, oh, this is the first time they're getting together. Oh, this is, like, their anniversary. Oh, this is her being, like, purposefully sexual. There was enough build-up behind what had happened that led up to the sex afterwards. This is a 10th of that build-up for 15 times the payout. Let me put it this way. This is what No Man's Sky used to be before it got updated. This is the ocean if it were an inch deep. There's so much of it, but you couldn't fucking drown in it if you tried. Alright, and that's a 5 out of 10. Now, with all the actual... Now, if I took all the scores and I added them together to get a base score for it, the score would be a 5 out of 10. It would be 16 divided by 3, which would be 5.3 repeating, which would be a 5 because I don't round up if it's below 5. So 5 out of 10. I wrote a note about like what it would be categorized. This is one of the ones that you could find better, but if you really don't give a shit about quality that's going on in it, this is like, I need to find something, skip 6 minutes in, and then go to town. And then you're done. You can find better, but if you're not picky, you don't care, and you're probably just going to skip 4 minutes in anyway, this is what you'd be looking for. Other than that, I would recommend picking something else. Because there's a lot of other ones out there that are just so much better. Now, until next time, I have been the doctor, and we can all have fun in these trying times because shit's going down and I just want to be happy, damn it. Everything's so depressing. But until next time, I have been the doctor. Stay safe. Stay safe. Still stay indoors. Just because everything is opening up does not mean you should start going out immediately. It's only getting worse out there. Which sounds depressing, but it's for your own good. So, stay inside, wash your hands, and have fun. And if you don't wash your hands, I will kill you. This is a threat. But, have a nice time. I've been the doctor, signing out. Goodbye.